Hi guys, this is Breaker, and I found a replay on the front page of Drop.sc, apparently between two Grandmasters level players, as you saw at the loading screen. Let me go ahead and give them their introductions. The upper left-hand corner, spawning is our red Zerg. His name is Vega Starbuck. In the lower right-hand corner, spawning as our blue Terran. I give you all a barcode. Alright, and the map that we are on today is going to be Akilon Wastes. Of course, we have the destructible rocks here, making for a bit more secure than usual possible third, but in the context of TVZ, we're talking about what could be super abused bioplay. And by that, I mean medevac drops going everywhere. We saw that yesterday at MLG with Akilon versus CM Storm Polt, and it made for some pretty sick games, but on Derelict Watcher TE, that, how do I say this? Akilon was just all over those drops. He really was. He took down just about every last one of them. And I think, suffice it to say, it was this map that he actually lost his first game on, because his opponent went with mass Widow Mines and put a planetary fortress right about here-ish. But it also warrants to state that his opponent basically stalked his way up to Raven, Battlecruiser, and, Akilon was doing his best to deny bases, but it didn't quite pan out in the end. This is rather interesting from our barcode. He's actually going to put it right here. He's not afraid of any early game Ling run-bys. I don't know, it's just, if there were 6 speedlings in there right now, if this was a 6 pool, then I want to say that perhaps he would be in a bit more danger. But let's not go chasing waterfalls and talking about things that aren't happening. Currently, Starbuck is going with a hatch first opener, and he's going to follow it up with a pool. Perfectly acceptable play, I think. Perfectly acceptable. And now it looks as though, wait a minute, I'm trying to make sense of just what our Terran's opener is going to be. Just a Reaper so far. He's going to try and contain his opponent, keep him at home, that kind of thing. And let's see how Starbuck reacts to the Reaper. What is he going to do? Okay. In other news today, I'm going to try and take Asia Starcraft League replays and start broadcasting them at night, because the thing of it is, when I have to compete with the on-game Star League for viewership, well, it basically goes without saying that the OSL is going to basically raffle stomp me in terms of viewers. It really is. So basically I'm going to do a double broadcast within one day. I'm going to take all the replays for the Asia Starcraft League and then cast them in one evening. Ooh, nice save on that drone by Starbuck. But wait! Oh, he loses it! Oh, that's just such a pity, really. It looks like that Reaper's going to get out of there, not even getting down to orange HP, or will he? Combat Drug's going into effect, and it looks like the Lings are going to pull back for the time being. Ooh, and almost gets another drone. This super high level play is just nutsy. And there's a second Reaper that joins the fray. Not going to be a third, apparently, but there is going to be a forward Marine to stop any forward Lings from coming at him. Yes, that means that this command center will finish almost uncontested. We saw Akilon always trying to abuse that with the double Lings getting out. Ooh, that drone does not get saved, unfortunately. And it looks like the Queens are not going to be able to get a full kill on that. It looks like he pulled the Queen out of the main, so that means he went ahead and made another one at the main. And this is going to be a 4-Queen opener. Not sure. I would say I'm a bit hesitant myself to actually go with that. All of my openers revolve around using gas. And double barracks going down for our barcode player as well. Tech Lab in the makes on that first barracks. So we're just going to see our barcode go straight into bioplay. No 1-1-1 shenanigans, nothing that's meant to kill drones early, but what this could pave the window for is, I've seen CM Storm Polt do this before. He actually, at MLG, wow, he's actually going to get a lot of Marines out ASAP. He's already going straight into stim at 6 minutes in. But what I've seen CM Storm Polt do is no stim, couple Marauders, and he just straight up throws a bunch of I guess you could say, for lack of refinement, plain bio units. No combat shields, no stim, nothing at his opponent's third. Try and put on some forward pressure and force him to back off. At least put him a teeny bit behind. Of course, it's not just the losses with the hatchery that matter, it's also the delayed mining time off of that third. We're talking, let's get a look at the income right now. Okay, so if we were to increase this by 1/3, excuse me, 1/2 of what it is right now, then that would bring it to about 1,800 minerals per minute, maybe borderline 2,000. So, what we would have is, if this hatch was to be destroyed, or if mining time altogether were to be delayed from it, then we would have no 2,000 mineral per minute income for as long as the units are all over that. But we already have queens in a forward position, delaying creeps, excuse me, spreading creep like a madman. No scan going down to take down those tumors, and that is just beautiful play from Starbuck. But behind this, we have a bunch of roaches coming out. It looks like we're gonna have these roaches try and set our barcode back just a little bit. Reaper a little bit indecisive there, doesn't know if he wants to jump up or stay down. Stim is about to finish up, but do we have any kind of timing shenanigans planned from our Terran? It looks like not for the time being, as I don't see a big Bioforce building. These Hellions and Reapers are just here for map control, and that is some absolutely epic creep spread. Like, we haven't seen... It seems like a lot of players are actually quite hesitant to go with that... What's the word? That classic Wings of Liberty opener, at least the one that was designated as the classic or the choice opener if a Zerg wanted to take a third at an early stage in the game. And it looks like we got double engineering bays going down in the natural for our Terran. This is just going to delay... This is just going to put +1/+1 a teeny bit behind. Like, behind that of our Zerg for sure. Ooh, another creep tumor gets sniped. And it looks like that's going to be the end of these Hellions. Yes, that will be all she wrote indeed. Checking the income right now, we are up at that borderline 1,800, close to 2,000 income that I was telling you guys about for our Zerg, and it looks like it was delayed with no real trouble whatsoever. Quite smoothly so. And these two Vikings come here and take down the Overlord, which it obviously saw both of those engineering bays, so that means that he knows his opponent will be going for double upgrades. And a Ling is parked right here, getting an eye on, trying to get an eye on what his opponent's trying to do. It might have seen what these Marines and Marauders are up to. That means perhaps, just perhaps, our Zerg has become cognitive to the fact that his opponent is trying to take a third, but also he's going into defensive stance right now. But oh, I'm not entirely sure just what provoked that. He's got Banelings and Lings morphing at each base. And his main is natural, and his third, he's taking a fourth behind this. He's not attacking the rocks to break that down and open up that path just yet. I myself make that mistake all the time, but I'm only Diamond League. Terran Infantry, Armor, and Weapons level 1, both on the way. We have Layer Tech about to finish up for our Zerg, and that's going to basically pave the way for the +2/+2 to get out ASAP. This is, I want to say, this is basically, yeah, this is just classic Wings of Liberty style. Centrifugal hooks also on the way, as well as the Spire. This guy is just spot on with everything. And it looks like this unfortunate queen will be caught out in the open and taken down. Creep spread kind of limited for the time being, but these two creep tumors will continue to progress forward on the right side of this little crevice. And it looks like we're going to have our Zerg try and Raffle Stomp that. There's no drops going down behind this. I really feel that this could be dangerous for our Terran. If he loses this combat supply, this will put him very far behind. The army count is what he really needs, and he just doesn't risk it. He doesn't overextend it at all. But he also doesn't take down these two creep tumors. Vikings are out on the map and just basically overlord hunting for the time being. We also have the Gator Clips going down, as Day 9 likes to call them, but they are really just a bunch of, excuse me, they're just the drilling claws. They allow the Widow Mines to get into the ground even faster than usual. Viking gonna be shut down by these queens over here just a teeny bit. And it looks like Starbuck is just a little bit stouted in the way of creep tumors, at least for the time being. +1 flyer attacks just now got started, so it looks like we have a thorough commitment to mutas. The rocks between the third and the fourth have just been taken down. Or so it seemed on my screen, but whoa, buddy, it looks like our Zerg may or may not be able to hold this third. That block, the positioning of all the units is just absolutely immaculate, but there it is, the full surround. Roaches, Muta's chasing down these medevacs. And now it looks like we're going to have him try and get back home with these units, but that's a completely different matter. Oh boy. The Mutas are sniping the medevacs while letting the Lings take care of all of this. And this, ladies and gentlemen, is just one fine example of how positioning can mean everything in an engagement. We saw that our Zerg actually threw away a lot to get rid of that drop. He really did. And he actually managed to get rid of everything that was there, regardless of how much he threw away. But now we have a bunch of Lings just basically getting thrown at the front door to see just what he's up against. The back door rocks, however, about to be destroyed by Starbuck. And our Barcode is actually reluctant to throw out any drops, anything that could actually hinder his opponent or put him behind with this forward engagement. Widowmine's burrowing in perfect position. And map control is, I want to say, it's been restored to Starbuck. He's now at 200-200, going for his infestation pit just now. Excuse me, I misclicked there and hit a creep tumor. And there's a scan going down in the main, just trying to see what tech there is, but he's got no new information. Maybe he was getting a look at just what there is in the way of static defenses. This would be the most beautiful place to drop on the map right now, because it would pull his Zerg opponents, I would say a significant amount of his Zerg opponents' main army back to deal with that drop. But now there are so many Mutas here. I think it would be acceptable to get one or more Thors in. There's over 24 Mutas here. Refinery falls in one shot. But I want to say that if he is not careful, 3, maybe 4 Widowmines could take down that entire flock of Mutas. This is going to be one of those games. I mean, Starbuck, he's got a significant lead, as you all can see, but if he makes one wrong move, if he misclicks, he can lose this in a heartbeat. That's not an absolutely scary number of Widowmines, but just remember, if they make good connections, that's all they need to do. Supply depot gets taken down at the front door, thus exposing it just a little bit. Ooh, one good Widowmine connection actually takes down one Muta and puts a good deal of them in yellow health. And Starbuck, everything he ever wanted to see is now in control of his vision, if you will. And Starbuck is about to finish up his hive, and it seems as though our Terran is trying to move out with a mix of tank, marine, mine, and everything else in between. There are quite a few Banelings here in the mix, but I think as long as those Widowmines make good connections... Oh, and wait a minute. Okay, we had no Overseer for a moment, but it looks like we will now. And all the Widowmines have been kited. That actually exposes and paves the way for Starbuck to go with a straight head-on engagement here. The question is, will that be his choice move? His choice maneuver, or will he try to just basically indirectly snipe everything? He's taking down the Widowmines right now, even though they're already shot. Marine stimming up, taking down a couple of Mutas, putting one into red health, and this is insane. 6 base Zerg versus 4 base Terran. These are still conditions that a Terran can come back from. It just depends on this engagement that comes in the near future. It looks as though Barcode's been pulled completely out of position. He's gonna get those Banelings almost scot-free, but they might even take something down on his mineral line. And here we go. The Muta's actually reluctant to engage. It seems as though Starbuck as a whole is completely reluctant to engage. Behind this, the Greater Spire finishing up, along with some Corruptors, so we're gonna see some Broodlords thrown into the mix inevitably. Adrenal Glands also finishing up, +3/+3, no Ultralisk Cavern whatsoever. Broodlords are a bit of a dangerous choice, but I think with this amount of income from our Zerg, he can afford to make that choice. Widowmine's now reloaded and ready to shoot. Ooh, takes down a couple of SCVs in the line there. And bunkers are actually being thrown down right now to actually kind of hinder everything, to kind of make it a little less smooth going for our Zerg. full-blown bunker wall off, and if we actually have to see our Terran do it, he will throw some Marines into that. And it looks like all the remaining Lings on the map are being turned into Banelings. We see the Ultralisk Cavern now going down, and an entirely reluctant Terran that doesn't want to move out and attack. +3/+3 just finishing up for both players now. That means the orange infantry armor and infantry weapons, as well as the orange. Oh no. The orange claws and melee carapace, but holy crap. If it's one thing he's going to have trouble dealing with, it's got to be these Broodlords. The Widow Mines are going to try and burrow right underneath them. It looks like they don't. Oh man, and now this is just one of those not pretty engagements for our Terran. But wait a minute, there's too much air here. There's not enough Banelings. There's not enough on the ground to deal with what we have from our Marines here, but it looks like slowly but surely we see Starbuck saying, hey, I don't care, I'm coming in to kill you right now. The Mutas are going to fly straight into the 4th, not giving a rat's ass about what's here, but whoa, buddy. Look at those Widow Mine connections. There are now Ravens out on the map, throwing down some Spitfire turrets, auto turrets, if you will. The Marines are stimming up, moving forward. These are a bunch of red health Mutas, guys. If they get just one clutch engagement, that might help them. But there's just a huge stream of Lings coming in, along with the Broodlings. I don't know if our Terran's gonna be able to come back from this. It's still very viable. He's now integrating Hellbats into the mix because he doesn't have anything else to throw his minerals around on, and he's floating 3,000. He just doesn't have the production to keep up with his Zerg opponent. He just lost a couple of buildings in the way of infrastructure at his natural. He's got to stim up. He's got to make something happen. And actually, the Hellbats are doing a good job of dealing with those Broodlings, and it looks like, you know, we're actually going to have our Terran lose it. Our Terran is actually going to try and push this back significantly well. He's got one Viking in the mix that should be able to take care of those Broodlords, but he's got to keep the production up in the way of Marines. We have a bunch of Ultras now on the way as well. The 4th absolutely decimated in the way of income. There's a few Widow Mines there, but that's it. A bunch of Overseers here now as well. Looks like the Viking was taken down. The Mutas are going to slowly but surely fall. And we're just waiting to see who is going to give and say GG. Right now it is slowly but surely in favor of our Zerg. Starbuck, 185 supply to 81. And we just see our Barcode trying his damnedest to hold his ground. It looks like he's going to get a good deal of these Broodlords, but the reinforcements that are on the way, those chitinous plating Ultras, are almost at the main, and there they are. That could be the death knell. We need to see some Marauders, and there it is. The GG from our Barcode. He tried his best, but damn, that last engagement has got to be one of the most refined and diverse engagements I've ever seen from a Zerg player. Now, ladies and gentlemen, if you guys liked what you saw here today, just go ahead and click on the subscribe button. This is Breaker. I'll see you guys in the next Breaker Daily.